Hey guys, imagine this. You're pushing a shopping cart through the supermarket, just like you do every single week. You're thinking about groceries, not electricity. But what if every single rotation of those wheels was secretly generating free power? What if that ordinary cart could light up LED signs, run small advertising screens, or even power door sensors, all without plugging into the wall? Today I'm showing you exactly how I turned a regular shopping cart into a real power generator using nothing but kinetic energy from customers pushing it. This is the ultimate hidden energy hack from daily life. And the best part? You can build a mini version at home for almost nothing. Stick around because what this cart actually generates will blow your mind. And by the end of this video, you'll see the lights come on from nothing but human power. Let me paint the picture first. Supermarkets in the US waste insane amounts of electricity every day just to keep lights on, screens running, and doors opening. At the same time, thousands of customers are pushing heavy carts back and forth, creating tons of kinetic energy that just disappears into thin air. We're literally walking past free electricity every single trip to the store. I got tired of seeing that waste, so I decided to capture it. Before we jump into the build, let's talk about why this matters. Electricity bills for big stores are huge, and everyone's talking about going green. This project takes something we already do, push a cart, and turns it into usable power. No solar panels on the roof, no giant wind turbines, just the motion you create every day. And yes, it works. I've already tested it. You'll see the before and after. Zero power to bright LEDs glowing just from rolling the cart. Now, here's the super simple list of what you'll need. Everything is cheap or recycled, perfect for beginners. First, one old shopping cart wheel, or a full cart if you can get one cheap from a scrapyard. Next, a small DC motor that can act as a generator. I used one salvaged from an old treadmill or printer. Any 1-2-volt DC motor works great. You'll also need a way to connect the wheel to the motor shaft. I went with a simple belt and pulley system, but you can use gears or even a friction roller. Then grab some wires, a rechargeable battery pack like a small 1-2-volt lead acid or lithium pack, a few bright LED strips or bulbs to show the power, and a multimeter so you can actually measure the voltage and current in real time. Optional but awesome, a tiny inverter if you want to run small USB devices. Total cost? Under replace with your real number, dollars if you scavenge most parts. No fancy tools required. Just basic hand tools, zip ties, and some hot glue or brackets to mount everything securely. The science behind it is actually pretty straightforward, even if you're new to electronics. When you push the cart, the wheel spins. That spinning motion turns the motor shaft. Inside the motor, magnets and coils create electricity through electromagnetic induction. It's the same principle as a bicycle dynamo or a hand crank generator, but scaled to something we already use every day. The electricity goes straight into the battery so it can be stored and used later for lights or sensors. Super clean, super simple. One thing I want to stress right from the start, safety first. We're dealing with moving parts and electricity, so make sure everything is mounted rock solid so nothing flies off when the cart rolls. Wear gloves when testing, and never short the motor directly without a load. I'll show you exactly how I avoided common beginner mistakes, so you don't have to learn the hard way. Alright, that's the big idea and everything you need to get started. You're probably wondering how I actually attach the motor to the wheel without destroying the cart, and how much power we really get. That's exactly what we're diving into next. But before we move on, let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about all the hidden energy around us in everyday objects? Drop a comment with the most surprising place you think we could harvest power from. I read every single one. Now let's head to the workbench and start building this thing step by step. You're going to see exactly how I mounted the motor, wired it safely, and got ready for the first test. Trust me, the results are going to surprise you. Alright, we're at the workbench, and it's time to turn this ordinary shopping cart wheel into a real electricity factory. I'm going to walk you through every single step, so even if you've never soldered a wire in your life, you can follow along and build this yourself. First things first, We need to mount the DC motor nice and solid so it doesn't shake loose when the cart starts rolling. I took a scrap piece of aluminum L-bracket from an old shelf and bolted it right to the cart's metal frame, right next to the wheel. 2 heavy-duty zip ties and a couple of self-tapping screws later, the motor is locked in place and lined up perfectly with the wheel. Pro tip: make sure the motor shaft is exactly parallel to the wheel axle. If it's even a little off, you'll lose a ton of power through vibration. Next comes the most important part of the whole build, connecting the spinning wheel to the motor shaft. I went with a simple friction roller system because it's cheap and super easy to adjust. I 3D printed a small roller that presses firmly against the tire, but you can just use a rubber wheel from an old office chair, or even wrap some sandpaper around a pulley for extra grip. I mounted that roller directly onto the motor shaft with a set screw, then used a spring-loaded bracket to keep constant pressure on the tire. When you push the cart, the tire spins the roller spins the motor, and boom, electricity starts flowing. If you want even more efficiency, you can upgrade to a belt and pulley setup later, but this friction method works great for our first prototype. Now, let's talk wiring, and this is where a lot of beginners get nervous, so listen close. The DC motor has 2 leads, red for positive, black for negative. I ran thick 1/4 gauge wire from the motor straight to a simple bridge rectifier. Why the rectifier? Because when you push the cart forward or backward, the motor can spin either way and produce AC-like current. The rectifier turns that into clean DC so your battery doesn't get confused. From the rectifier, I went into a charge controller. Nothing fancy, just a basic 1-2-volt one you can buy for a few bucks, and then straight into my small rechargeable battery pack. I also added a blocking diode right before the battery to make sure power only flows one way and doesn't drain back into the motor when the cart stops. On the output side of the battery, I wired up a switch so I can turn the whole system on and off, plus a fuse for safety. Everything is tucked neatly under the cart with zip tie mounts so nothing drags on the floor. Watch this quick before and after right here on the bench. Before wiring, the motor spins but does nothing useful. After I connect everything, you can already see the multimeter jumping the second I spin the wheel by hand. That little needle moving is the exact moment you know this crazy idea is actually working. One more thing before we roll it outside for real testing. I wrapped all exposed connections with electrical tape and heat shrink tubing, and I added a small rubber guard around the roller so fingers or clothing don't get caught. Safety isn't optional when you're mixing moving parts with electricity. There you have it. The entire generator is built, mounted, and wired in under an hour. It looks a little rough around the edges, but that's the beauty of a real DIY project. You're probably wondering right now whether this thing will actually produce usable power once the cart starts moving, or if it's all just theory. I had the exact same doubt, until I took it outside for the first test run. That's coming up next, and trust me, the results are going to surprise you in the best possible way. But before we roll, tell me in the comments, have you ever tried harvesting energy from something that moves every day? Drop your idea below and let's see whose is crazier than shopping cart power. All right, the cart is fully built and it's time for the moment of truth. I wheeled it out to the parking lot, flipped the switch, grabbed the handle, and started pushing at normal walking speed, just like any customer in a supermarket would. The roller was spinning. The motor was turning, but when I glanced at the multimeter, my heart sank. Only 0.8 volts. That's it. Barely enough to make one tiny LED flicker. I pushed faster, I pushed slower, I even jogged with the cart. Maximum I got was 1.2 volts. Nothing close to charging the battery or lighting up the LED strip I had ready. Epic fail. For a second, I thought the whole idea was dead. All that work mounting the motor, wiring the rectifier and charge controller, and we were getting basically nothing. I sat there staring at the cart, wondering if I had wasted my time. But that's exactly why I film these projects, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. Let me break down exactly what went wrong so you can avoid it. First problem, the friction roller was slipping on the tire. Even with the spring pressure, at real rolling speed, the contact wasn't strong enough or consistent enough. Second, the alignment between the roller and the wheel was off by just a couple of millimeters after the first few pushes. Vibration made it drift. Third, The motor I chose had a little too much internal resistance for the low speed we were getting from the cartwheel. All three issues stacked together and killed the output. Here's the simple fix that changed everything. I swapped the 3D printed roller for a thicker, softer rubber wheel from an old scooter. Way better grip. Then I doubled the spring tension and added a second adjustable bracket so the pressure stays rock solid even when the cart bounces. I also spent 5 minutes realigning everything with a laser level so the shafts stay perfectly parallel no matter how hard you push. Finally, I swapped in a slightly different DC motor with lower internal resistance. Still cheap and scavenged, just a better match for our RPM range. I flipped the switch again, took a deep breath, and pushed the cart. You won't believe how simple the fix was, and how much power we gained. The multimeter shot up instantly to replace with your real number volts steady, then climbed to replace with your real number volts when I pushed at normal speed. The LED strip I had connected lit up bright and steady, no more flickering. The charge controller started blinking green, meaning it was actually feeding the battery. That mid-test turnaround was the biggest relief of the whole build. 1 minute I was ready to scrap the project. The next minute I was grinning like an idiot watching real usable power come from nothing but pushing a shopping cart. This is the exact moment most DIYers give up. But the fix is almost always something small once you diagnose it right. I ran the cart back and forth 10 times, checking the numbers each pass. Voltage stayed consistent, no more slippage, and the battery voltage actually started climbing. Proof right there on the multimeter that this hidden energy idea is real. You're probably thinking the same thing I was at this point. If one cart can do this after the fix, what happens when we scale it up or add more motors? That's exactly what we're going to see in the next chapter. Real results with lights on, battery charging, and measurements you can actually use. But before we roll into the full demo, let me ask you, have you ever had a DIY project that looked like a total fail until one tiny tweak made it work perfectly? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one and it helps everyone learn. This is the moment you've been waiting for. The cart is fixed, the sun is out, and I'm pushing it across the parking lot at normal shopping speed. Watch what happens the second those wheels start rolling. First, the multimeter lights up instantly. Steady 5.8 volts at walking pace. I push a little faster. It jumps to 7.4 volts. Current is sitting at replace with your real number amps. That's real usable power coming straight from the cart. I connect the LED strip I mounted on the front of the cart, the one that says Cart Power in bright letters. And boom, it lights up bright white. No flicker, no delay. Those LEDs are running 100% on the energy you create just by pushing. But I didn't stop there. I hooked up a small 1-2 volt advertising screen, the kind supermarkets use for price displays. And guess what? It powers right up. The screen turns on, shows the demo loop I programmed, and stays bright the entire time I'm rolling. No external battery, no wall plug, just the motion of the cart. Now let's look at the battery. Before I started pushing, the small 1-2 volt pack was sitting at 11.2 volts, almost empty. After just 3 minutes of normal pushing back and forth, it climbed to 12.7 volts and the charge controller switched to green. That means the battery is actually being charged while you shop. I kept pushing for another 5 minutes and the voltage kept rising. This isn't theory anymore. It's happening right in front of you. Let me show you the before and after side by side so you don't miss it. On the left, cart standing still, LEDs off, screen black, battery flat. On the right, I start pushing. LEDs blaze on, screen fires up, multimeter numbers climb, and the battery voltage starts climbing in real time. The difference is night and day. I even tested it with a tiny USB inverter. Plugged in my phone and watched the charging icon pop up while I kept rolling. Free phone charge from Supermarket Cart Power. How crazy is that? Here's the exact numbers you can expect with this setup. At normal walking speed, you get between 5.5 and 7.5 volts and replace with your real number to replace with your real number watts depending on how fast you push. One cart by itself won't power the whole store, but imagine 20 carts rolling at the same time in a busy aisle. That's serious free electricity for lights, sensors, and signs. This is where the wow hits hard. You're not just watching a toy spin. You're watching real, measurable, usable power being harvested from something people do every single day without thinking. And the best part? It's repeatable. I did 10 full laps around the parking lot, and the numbers stayed consistent every single time. No drop-off, no overheating, no weird behavior. The system just works. You can feel the satisfaction in the air right now, that moment when the idea finally proves itself. This is why I love DIY energy projects. One weekend, some scrap parts, and suddenly you're generating your own electricity from a shopping cart. Now that we have working power and real measurements on the table, it's time to talk big picture. How do we take one working cart and turn it into a full supermarket charging lane? What would it look like at scale? How much could it actually save? And is this something stores could really use? That's exactly what we're diving into in the final chapter, and the answers might just change how you see every shopping trip forever. But before we go there, drop a quick comment. What's the first thing you would power with a shopping cart generator if you built one tomorrow? I read every comment. All right, we've seen the cart generate real power. The lights are on, the battery is charging, and the numbers don't lie. Now let's talk about the big picture. How do we take this one working prototype and turn it into a full shopping cart charging lane that could actually change how supermarkets operate? Imagine this. Instead of one cart, you have an entire lane of 20 or 30 carts, all equipped with the same simple generator setup. Every single customer pushing through the store is now contributing to free electricity without even knowing it. The combined output could easily power all the LED price tags, small advertising screens, and even the automatic door sensors at the exit. No more relying solely on the grid for those low-power needs. Scaling it up is surprisingly straightforward and beginner-friendly. You use the exact same mounting brackets and friction rollers on every cart. Total cost per cart stays around replace with your real number dollars when you buy parts in bulk and scavenge motors from old electronics. For a whole lane of 30 carts, you're looking at under replace with your real number dollars total, a tiny one-time investment compared to the monthly electricity bills a busy US supermarket pays. And the savings add up fast. A medium-sized store in America spends thousands every month just keeping lights, signs, and sensors running. If each cart generates an average of replace with your real number watt-hours during a typical shopping trip, and you have hundreds of trips a day, that's real money going straight back into the owner's pocket while shrinking the carbon footprint at the same time. But this project proves something much bigger than supermarket savings. Hidden energy is literally everywhere in our daily lives. The motion we create without thinking, pushing carts, walking, opening doors, can be turned into usable power with simple DIY hacks. You don't need expensive solar panels or giant wind turbines to start making a difference. You can begin right now with something as ordinary as an old shopping cart sitting in your garage. That's why I love this build so much. It started as a wild idea and became a working prototype that literally anyone can copy at home this weekend. If you're just starting out, build the single-wheel version exactly like I showed. If you're ready for more, add extra motors or link multiple carts together for even higher output. The sky's the limit once you see how easy it is. The future of energy isn't always about massive power plants. Sometimes it's right there in the everyday things we already do. This shopping cart generator is living proof that small, smart hacks can add up to something huge. If you enjoyed watching this hidden energy project come to life, smash that like button right now, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next crazy build. And most importantly, go try making your own mini version. The full parts list, free wiring diagram, and step-by-step photos are all linked in the description below. Imagine every supermarket doing this. That's real free energy we can actually use today. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Drop your final thoughts in the comments. What other everyday object should we turn into a generator next? I read every single one, and the best ideas might become our next video. See you in the next one, where we harvest even more power from things you never thought possible.